Well, hello and welcome to Paper Crafts by Elaine. I am Elaine, and today we are going to be learning how to use that Glimmer machine. So if you've got yours in the box, I want you to go get your Glimmer machine, your cut and emboss, and all of the supplies that you need to start glimmering. I'll wait for you right here because we're going to do some really fun things and we're going to learn a lot of new techniques. So I'm waiting for you. Come on back. Won't be but a minute. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, I have my foil, I have my Glimmer machine, and I have my cut and emboss. I also have my paper close at hand, so I am ready to start doing some glimmering, making some beautiful hot foil cards and plates. Now, I've been working on these for a little while, and I've got a few that I'd like to show you, just because I want you to see just how beautiful they can be. Look at this. This would make an awesome birthday, anniversary, 4th of July, congratulations, graduation cards. Aren't they the pain? We could do any of those with this hot foil gliding, with this hot foil die. So you're going to see a lot of things that you can do. Now, this is one of my favorites because this shows you one of the things that we are going to do today. And this is the positive, this is the negative. But look at them. Look really close. They are the exact same die. And believe it or not, I use the exact same piece of foil to make them. So here's another one. This one would be great, as I was saying, for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation. You could even change it to the colors that you like. Now, this is two of the pieces that I've really fallen in love with, and I use this one very often on the inside. This is called the Geometeric Flowers, and it's a better press plate that you're going to love. But this is one of my favorites. This is plates that are made by LDRS, and this is one of their packages. The only way you can get it is to get it through an air store. But look at those beautiful roses. And the one that comes with it actually says all my love. So it'll make a perfect Valentine's Day card. This also comes with it, and this is actually a edging. And the best thing about it is it comes with a die to cut out the edging. It comes with a die to cut out the flower. And it will also cut out all my love. So it's just perfect. I love it. Here we go. We've done another negative. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. This is the negative to this beautiful flower. In other words, I made the flower and then I turned around and made this by simply using a solid plate. I did the same thing right here. I made this one. Oh, by the way, I colored this one with my stencil that comes with this particular set. And then I used the opposite by doing my, by using my negative. So these are two more that I've made. One of the things I failed to mention when I was talking to you about the LRDS, as I said, it comes with the hot foil for the, it comes with the letterpress, which you can use on the hot foil. For the rose, the All My Love, it comes with the die cuts that cuts out both of them, but it also comes with stencils so you can color it. So notice, I have hot foiled that flower. I think you can catch the foil on that. I did it in lavender. You can really see it on these green leaves here. And then I die cut it out. So again, as you see, these are some other great examples of cards that I have made using the hot foil machine. Oh, and by the way, this hot foil comes on the inside of your machine. So when you buy your letterpress machine, you get this one for free. Oh, yeah. I'm playing with the hot foil. That's okay. It just goes to show that you can use them in both. This is another one that I've done using a background image, and I'm also using the happy anniversary on it. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that we can make with our Glimmer machine. Okay, so now that I've showed you a few of the cards that we can make, let's show you a few dies that we're going to be using today in our class. This die is called Spring Magnolia, and I'm going to use it because I want you to see how we're going to do that reverse. I also want to do a little bit with the rainbow border. I'm going to do this one because it comes with your machine, so we'll probably do it first. And we're also going to be doing one with this hot foil that you saw just a bit ago. So let's start on getting things working here. Now, the first thing I want you to know is you have to plug in your machine. And notice I do not have it engaged, okay? You'll need to push this all the way in real snug to get it engaged. But ladies, nothing's going to work if you don't cut the machine on. Up here in the very, very front is a toggle switch. Notice when I cut that switch off, my red light went off. When I cut that switch back on, let's disengage it first. When I cut that switch back on, my red light comes on. Excuse me. My red light comes on, telling me that my machine is ready to work. So now I'm going to engage it and give it a minute to get warm. Okay, so while my machine's warming up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the things that you're going to want to know. Number one, there is more than one kind of foil. There's a hot foil. It's a thermal foil, which means that hot foil requires heat to cause the transfer. There's also other kinds of foil. There's foil out there that only uses a chemical, and that's probably the one that you've been using on your mink. Now, on your mink, when you were using that one, you were able to you were able to run it through your mink, but remember, you had to print it on a jet printer. And after you printed it on that jet printer, then you could go back and you could go back and you could run it through your mink and put your foil on it and everything was pretty. This one is not like that at all. This one requires foil that is true hot foil. So you have to be careful because almost all foils say hot foil. So what you have to remember is that you want a thermal foil. I find the best way to make sure I'm getting the right foil is to order the foil that comes from Spellbinders. Now, I am not being paid by Spellbinders to tell you that. In fact, I hate that I even have to do that. But I can tell you that I get the best results out of my Spellbinder foil. And if you'll notice, I have it all put together on the inside of this little stand. We sell this stand here at Pelletier Craft Studio. This stand is called Assemble and Store, and it is for nothing but your hot foil. You'll watch me pull my hot foil off of it multiple times, and I'll do some measuring, and then I'll put things back on it. It's super, super easy to use. So let's start off with, I've got my piece up here. I'm waiting for my machine to get good and hot. My machine's just as cold as yours was, so it's okay if it takes a minute to get it hot. I'm going to be measuring my foil out, and because I want to use a full card to do this, I am going, where'd my scissors go? Where did you go? We always lose something. Today it's scissors. There they are. Okay, so today I'm going to be using my foil. But I don't want my foil to be as big as the card because I don't want to do something called overfoiling. Now, overfoiling happens when you have too much foil than what you need to put on your card. So, when I'm making this one, I just want to make sure that I have enough foil to cover over my design. And you can see I do. It's still too soon to put it down, but I am going to be showing you a few other tips and tricks while I'm working on it, okay? So one more thing that I like to do, let's measure this again. See if I can maybe cut off a little more foil. Nope, it's too narrow. Oh well, we're going to have to use it the way we've got it. The other thing that I want you to do is when you have your Glimmer machine, make sure that your cut and emboss machine works with it also. Let's see if I can get that cut and emboss machine to come in a little bit closer. There you go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to want to make sure that our cut and emboss machine is wide enough and thick enough that it can be used with the Glimmer machine. The best way to know that is just look it up. Go online, find out if your machine will use it. I'm a little skeptical about using the Glimmer machine when I'm using an electric because I would first want to make sure 100% that it's going to work with it before I put it on my electric machine. All right, now as you can see, my green light has come on. That means it's time for us to start doing some foiling. So notice I am going to put my foil down first. Ladies, are you noticing? I'm putting the shiny side down. I like to tell people that this gray side, well, the gray side is kind of going to be like your, oh, we could call it your glue. That's not really what it is. But that's the way you want it to go on. Then I'm going to put down my green plate. And then I'm going to put down my clear plate. At this time, I'm ready to hit my timer. So I push my button with my timer and my light starts to blink. Now, when that light starts blinking, that means it's time for me to run it through my cut and emboss machine. So what are we going to do while we're doing all that? We're going to sit here and think about what else we're going to do that's really going to be pretty. And we're also going to think about what we want to make with all these beautiful pieces that we're going to be designing. So I do want to also tell you that the other thing that I can tell you is that this is another type of foil available also. And again, I'm not dodging any one company or building up any one company or cutting down another company. But this foil is made by Altenew. And I really find I don't get good results out of it every time. It's kind of hit and miss. And you can see it's in a small roll where these are a big roll. Makes no difference. But all I can tell you is that once in a while, I can use this and it won't work. Recently, I did a class here in my studio, and one of the girls picked up this roll of foil, and I let her use it. And believe it or not, right in the middle of her design was blank. Wouldn't come out. All right, so my light has stopped blinking. I'm going to disengage gently. You don't want to pull this thing out because we don't want to cause a whole lot of sliding, right? So I just pull it back, and I pinch it on the side. See how I'm holding it? You're not going to hurt anything. More importantly, it's not going to burn you. And then we're going to do a snail's crawl. Remember, a snail's crawl? That's when you do something really slow. We're running at a snail's pace. And by going at a snail's pace, you're going to find that you'll get the best impression possible. So, I've heard that bump, which tells me I am off of my plate. I'm going to put it back down and engage it so it'll be ready for the next one. And let's take a look at just how beautiful this design is. Look at there, ladies. Is that not gorgeous? I didn't get it exactly straight or exactly perfect on the card, but you know what? I know a whole lot about cutting paper so that it will come out just perfect. Now, on the inside of your Glimmer machine, you're going to get one of these little things. This is a magnet. Yay! Not burning my fingers today. Woohoo! Not burning my fingers. To get you to release your plate, you simply mash the button on top and it will release the magnet plate. Okay, so what do we want to do next? We definitely want to do something with these beautiful roses. I mean, who are we kidding? I'm telling you, there is no better design. This has just been my absolute favorite design of all times. And it is the LRDS Perfect Pairing All My Love. Now, you don't have to be a part of the club to buy this. All you have to do is go onto my site, because I'm one of the retailers that sells this company. And you're going to be looking for, you're going to get 3 foil plates. But notice it says press and foil plates. That means you can use this plate in either place. So I really love that. You're also going to be getting 3 coordinating dies. You're going to be getting 4 stencils, and they throw in a little bit of paper as well. So let's get this out. And we are, my rose decided it wanted to stay intact. We're going to put this rose down. And as we're putting this rose down, I think I'm going to go ahead and put down the frame with it. I just love this. To me, this is just so elegant and so pretty. There you go. Now this brings me up to another point that I want to bring to your attention. And that point is that anytime you are doing something and you are using the same company, it is okay to go ahead and put down several pieces of the same company's plates. I guess what I'm trying to say is, since all of these plates are made by LRDS, I know that they're all about the same size. And because they're all about the same size, I'm not particularly worried about one being taller than the other. Now I'm going to show you an example, just as soon as we finish this one, on how having one that has a 2 different companies may have 2 different heights, and your foils may not come out the same, when you try to run them together. All right, now my light is green. So as you notice, I am putting down my foil. I'm going to put down my paper. I'm going to put down my green plate. And then I'm going to put down my white plate. Now it's really important that you don't mix this white plate up with one of your cutting plates. It's a little bit thicker, but more importantly, you don't want to mess it up. I got it all on there. I'm going to hit my button and let it start to do its work. Now, remember, all I'm doing is waiting for it to get started. And as it finishes up, I'll know it's ready just as soon as that light stops blinking. Okay, so we're working along here. And I have stepped back into my craft room. And I am looking for something specific that I want to show you. There they are. I have this special piece that I like to keep close by. And of course, when I sat down to make this video, I didn't have it in my hand. My light's still flashing, so we're not quite ready. But I am going to show you a little bit of a secret about plates and how thick some plates can be thicker than others. And all of that's going to depend on the company. Most of the time, if the plates are from the same company, you will have no problem using them together. Okay, my light's solid. Now it's time to pull it out. And I'm going to run it through my machine. And remember, we're not running a foot race here. We're doing it at a snail's pace. So while we're rolling it through, we're putting all of that foil down on my paper. It's a combination of how it works is the heat as well as the pressure. So the two of them together are going to give me a super nice image. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. Oh, I can already tell it's gorgeous. Look at there. Is that not the absolute bomb? That is just so pretty. Cannot for anything think of any reason why I won't be using this on my card. All right, so let me get my little magnet here and get these off. Now remember, I told you, you mash the button and it'll drop it for you. So we don't have to do that right now. Right now we're going to just pull it off. They are hot, so I'm not going to be playing around with them. So what I want to show you is something about the thickness of the plate. Now you've already seen how gorgeous this one was. This plate is thicker and heavier. This plate, which we just used from the LRDS, is thinner and lighter weight. But they're both excellent plates. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. But if I tried to run them together and I had one pushed up against the other one, when my cotton emboss runs through, it goes through at a level and it has it. Okay, so it's this thick. And then when it comes off, it's not going to come off that thickness until here. So what's going to happen is all of this through here is not going to foil because it's not going to get the pressure it needs. So anytime you're running two plates that are not made by the same manufacturer, you want to put one at the top and one at the bottom, and you want to make sure there's a gap between them. That way, when my cutting emboss comes through, it says, okay, I'm done. Oh, wait a minute, there's another height. And it's not running everything through at that real tall height. So that's just a little tip to something that I have learned as I am using my foils to make different things. Okay, so now I am going to put down what we call a solid plate. Now, it takes a solid plate a little bit longer to heat up, so I'm going to go ahead and put it down. And while it's down, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Remember we had this that we just did on that beautiful flower, and we talked about how pretty it was? Well, I'm going to use the same piece of foil, and this time I'm going to make my outline come up only. For example, remember a while ago I showed you the card, and I told you that this one was the negative and this one was the positive? Well, that's what we're going to do with this rose. So right now I have, see if I can pull it up and show you what I'm duplicating here, because I've done it for one of my classes already. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so remember I told you that this was the negative and this was the positive. And these were made off of the same piece of foil. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now notice how this is a circle. So when I used my solid plate to make this one, I made it with a circle. That means I had a circle solid plate. How much better, how much easier could that be? Now, if I'd have wanted to have it with another design, all I would have had to have done was just put down the design on my solid plate. So this solid plate determines what this is going to look like. Now let's talk about something else. What if I didn't have enough foil to cover this? Then I'm not going to have a complete circle. It's going to come out kind of awkward. And this is a good time to tell you one more thing too. When you're working with your machine, notice how I have run my Glimmer machine very slowly through my cut and emboss, and I run it through one side and I took it out. Okay, so the only time that you don't run it through just one way and take it out is when you are making a solid plate. These solid plates do require, let's see if I can figure out how I want to do this. These solid plates do require more pressure than a single plate would. So, for example, this was going to take a little bit more pressure from my cut and emboss. Now, we all know that there is no way I can make my cut and emboss cut any differently, right? My cut and emboss is going to have the same pressure no matter what I do to it. Remember, I've put my foil down, foil side down. I've put my card down. I'm putting down my green plate, putting down my white plate, and I'm mashing my button. Now, when I get ready to run a single plate, like when I run this rose just then, I ran it through the machine. I pushed it through my machine. I pulled it out this side, and I was done with it. If I had pushed it through my machine and got it here and then pushed it back through my machine, this image could have very well been blurry. It could have been duplicated. It could have been anything but smooth, okay? You could have had a lot of smudging around it. There's a lot of things that happens when you run it through and then run it back through. Now, in the case of using a solid foil, a solid plate of any kind or any size, you are going to want to run it through your plate, your machine twice. And the reason for that being is that you need to get all of that foil off of the foil and on the paper. So the paper needs a little bit more pressure, not more heat, just more pressure. So here we go. This is what I mean. I'm going to, again, roll it at a snail's pace. Remember, we are not running a race when we are doing our glimmering. I'm moving slow and steady, and I'm also moving it at an even rate. That way I'm getting all of the foil off of it. Now notice when I hit that bump, I just turned around and came right back. I'm still using my slow snail's pace, and I'm not doing anything in a rush. Okay, she's all done. I'm going to pull off my clear plate, pull off my other plate, open it up. Look at there. How beautiful is that? Now, I simply love this. And I will go ahead and tell you, I will take my trimmer and I'll trim it off here, and then I'll die cut around that circle, and that's how I'll make the card with this arch on it. But is that not the absolute most beautiful thing you have ever seen? I love the rose. Oh my God, I love the rose. I love the red, but I love both ways that it foils. Now, guess what? Out of all of the pieces of foil that I have used, this is the one piece that absolutely is not any good anymore. I mean, there's no more foil on it. So that means it's a done deal. We can take other pieces of foil that I've done, like this one, and we can put it on and do the same thing that we just done with the one that we just finished. So there you go, ladies. That's a lot of information. So don't hesitate to turn around and look back over this video multiple times so that you can learn different things. But the key points that I want you to take away. Number one, to get the machine to work, you got to cut the on button on, and this red light over here is going to come on. Number two, you have to engage it straight. Don't try to pull up on it. It's got to go straight in. Number three, once it's ready, this green light is going to come on. And then, and only then, do you put down your foil, your paper, your plates. That's the only time you do it. If that green light's not on, you're doing it too early and you're going to get it too hot. So remember, when the green light comes on, you're ready to start creating your design. That's when you put down your foil, and you put your foil down the shiny side down. The gray side is going to be facing you. And then you put your card down, you put down your green plate, and you put down your clear plate, and you hit your timer. When you push that timer button, it's going to be blinking. And as soon as it stops blinking, guess what? You are ready to disengage your machine. Disengage it by using the handle and pushing on the base and pulling it back. Now, you can put it on the inside of your cut and emboss, or in my case, a Platinum 6. Roll it through, slow and easy. Then you can put it back on your base, pull off your plates, pull off your foil, and you just pull back the foil and it will be beautiful on your paper. So those are the main tips. One more main tip that I want to say, and I'm saying this loud and clear, so hear me. You always go one way through that cut and emboss or the Platinum 6. One way. The only time you bring it back in the opposite direction is when you're using a solid foil plate. Now, there are several of these. They come in an arch, they come in an oval, they come in a circle, and they come in a great big square. So you can use any of these that you want to use, but you always have to remember, you roll solid plates forward and backwards at a snail's pace. Well, there you go, ladies. That's the things that you need to know about your awesome Glimmer machine. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at elaine@PelletierCraftStudio.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Also, we're doing free classes every quarter, so send me your email, and you can do your email at Pelletier Craft Studio. There you go. When you send your name to PelletierCraftStudio.com, you can send in and sign up for our email. And our email/newsletter is going to tell you what free class I'm going to be teaching every quarter. For example, next quarter, I'm going to be teaching about the letterpress machine. And that thing has some awesome features to it. So between now and then, happy glimmering. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. That's another good way to know when we're going to be online. In the meantime, enjoy your Glimmer machine and happy crafting. Bye.